in the heart of bustling Manila lies a hidden enclave so unique that some claim visiting the place is like stepping into another dimension. Unlike other enclaves further north in urban Manila, this one is exclusively for the dead. A sprawling 54 hectares, the Manila Chinese Cemetery was the final resting place for Manila's Chinese populace. Rejected for burials on sacred ground by the Spanish friars, the Chinese of Manila were forced to bury their dead outside the Catholic La Loma Cemetery. In the late 19th century, prominent community leader Tan Kien Sien, also known as Don Carlos Palanca, and Lim Ong initiated efforts into the creation of the Manila Chinese Cemetery. Today, the grounds are a tapestry of large mausoleums and rows of graves with a unique Chinese flair. What's fascinating about the cemetery is that for its residents, as in life, so it is in death. Elaborate shrines emulate the homes of the living, complete with modern conveniences and grand edifices. Entrances, lobbies, toilets, sinks, and running water. Some even have working air conditioners. Caretakers work year-round preserving the domains of the dead, trimming plants, sweeping floors, and repainting gates. A majority of mausoleums are in neutral colors, shades of gray or white. Noteworthy are the intricate lattice and grillwork, exhibiting traditional Chinese symbols and patterns. Traditional Chinese characters are often inscribed on wall surfaces, denoting the name of the family and some dedications to the dearly departed. Like loyal companions, a pair of food dogs stand guard at the entrance. Inside, pictures of the dead hang on the wall above their graves, while a kneeler and a small altar lies at the foot of the grave. Ironically, images of Catholic saints stand alongside images of Buddha and other deities, exhibiting the hybridity of faith systems among the Filipino Chinese. The quiet atmosphere is interrupted every year on All Saints' Day, a Catholic holiday where relatives come and visit the dearly departed. Throngs of Manila's Chinese Filipinos light incense and bring offerings, believing that pleasing the spirits of their ancestors would bring in good fortune for the living. For most of the year, on the contrary, the cemetery is quiet, peaceful, and some say, chilling. Beyond claims of ghost sightings, what's more chilling is the recent demolition of the Chong Hok Tong Temple, one of the oldest pre-war structures in Manila, built in the mid-19th century. According to reports, the owners of the temple, the Philippine Chinese Charitable Association, claimed that the wooden structure was suffering from a severe termite infestation and was a hazard to the public. The temple was described as reminiscent of temples in Fujian province and as well as those in Singapore and Malaysia, with their colorful friezes and uniquely upturned eaves, and was said to have been constructed through the efforts of the late Gobernadorcillo, Don Carlos Palanca. The demolition was received by a public outcry amongst heritage conservationists. In a statement to the press, Heritage Conservation Society President Ivan Henares said, "We are saddened to hear about the demolition of Manila's oldest surviving Chinese temple at the Manila Chinese Cemetery and shocked at the level of ignorance regarding heritage conservation in the country." Interestingly, among the thousands of Chinese buried in the cemetery was a Filipino revolutionary hero, Apolinario Mabini. His remains were buried here on account of his association with Freemasonry and therefore denied a Catholic burial. His remains were later transferred to his native Batangas. The site of Mamini's former grave in this cemetery is marked by a large stone pyramid. Nearby, other large monuments and shrines stand, seemingly eternal in their quiet peace. The Ruby Tower Memorial, dedicated to those who perished in the infamous collapse of an apartment building in 1968, stands as a memorial for the victims' families. Inside, pictures of the deceased hang on the walls as an eerie reminder to that fateful tragedy. The adjacent Yat Si Tong Martyrs Hall, on the other hand, is dedicated to 10 Chinese community leaders executed by Japanese forces in World War II. The Japanese army did several executions in the cemetery grounds during the war. Writer Rafael Roses and Girl Scout organizer Josefa Llanes Escolda were executed in the cemetery grounds. Wrapped in a rich tapestry of Chinese influences, interwoven with the tumultuous events of Philippine history, the funerary architecture of Manila's Chinese cemetery is a truly unique specimen of Chinese culture in the Philippines. It is a physical narrative of events in the Chinese Filipino community, firmly etched in wood, concrete, and stone. Its very existence is owed to a community leader who sought to establish a final resting place for his people. For the families who continue to visit their loved ones, the cemetery becomes a celebration of their rich ancestry and culture. Elaborate architecture, rituals, and traditions fill the gray cemetery with life and vigor. The uniqueness of the place is unparalleled. A Chinese cemetery in a Catholic country colonized by the Spanish and the Americans, smack in the middle of a city of 10 million people. Little known outside the Chinese Filipino community, the Manila Chinese Cemetery could very well be Manila's biggest secret.